Hello, my name is Jim Watson, and welcome to Brook Ranch. We are located just south of Kalispell, Montana, in the wildland-urban interface, the WUI. The ranch consists of a section and a half of mixed range land and timber, about a 50-50 mix. We have been participating in Montana tree farms since 2003 and are protected with a permanent conservation easement with Montana Land Reliance. The focus of this presentation is silvopasture, livestock grazing in the forest. We raise Tibetan yak. They originate on the Tibetan Plateau in the shadow of the Himalaya. Yaks are mountain cows. They love winter, are easy calvers, and will graze on steeper slopes than domestic cattle. They are as hardy as bison, much smarter than cattle, and are fully domesticated, and a lot of fun to be around. We ship breeding stock across the northern tier of the country and supply free-range, grass-fed meat to a local health-conscious market. Managing for silvopasture focuses on getting light and air to the forest floor to promote and support an understory plant community, like grass, and mountain maple, choke cherry, sarvice berries. On the sites we are looking at today, management is focused on grass for yaks. However, elk are grazers too. We saw a remarkable increase in elk usage after thinning the forest. This photo was taken in my backyard. This is one of the rewards of a well-managed property. And one of these moved in, a great gray owl, which are unusual south of the Canadian boreal forest. She is regularly seen hunting mice and voles in the open structure ponderosa pine units. For an understory plant community, and the animals that live there to thrive, you must have an open forest structure that lets in plenty of light. Fortunately, this is pretty much the same forest structure that is considered fire safe, which is a real bonus when seeking grant funding to help finance forest management. Generally speaking, a fire-safe forest has space between tree crowns, so crown fires cannot run, and lower limbs are removed to reduce ladder fuels. We are going to look at units 10 and 12 for two approaches to achieving these outcomes. This satellite image was taken in 2017. Unit 10 was thinned with ground equipment in 2009 with the management goal of individual tree release and fireproofing. It is a southwest aspect ponderosa pine-dominated stand with a few Douglas fir mixed in. The overlay is an aerial image taken in 1990. As you can see, the center of Unit 10 was moonscaped by a near clear cut. This is the source of the same age stand we have today. Prior to thinning in 2009, the stand was so thick it was difficult to ride a horse through, had minimal understory, and no appreciable grazing. After the thinning operation in 2009, we high pruned the center of this unit with pole saws to a height of about 15 feet. This opened up ground level line of sight out to around 300 yards. These drone videos will give you a sense of the open feel of this stand. The prune line is evident as you look out. You can really see through this forest at ground level. Elk just love it in here. The grass is excellent, line of sight is excellent, and there's plenty of room to run from danger. This is the great gray owl's favorite hunting ground. Flying is easy, and there are plenty of mice and voles to feast on. I didn't have wildlife in mind as we thinned and pruned this unit. The goal I had in mind was to be able to safely do a prescribed burn here, a low-intensity ground fire that would just creep along, consuming dead grasses and pine duff. The high-pruned area is bounded on all sides by forest roads that will make excellent fire barriers. However, Montana law states that whoever strikes the match for a prescribed burn is liable, without limit, for all resulting damages to others. Since I'm the guy with the matchbook, I'm reluctant to burn this area. Once we climb above the canopy, you can really see the open nature of this stand. The ample space between crowns leaves plenty of room for these trees to grow before another thinning operation is needed, and provides strong resistance to a potential crown fire. A raging fire coming onto the property will probably drop to the ground in this stand. The open lanes you see are a trail that is used in winter for cross-country skiing and in summer for horseback riding and hiking. Notice how uniform this stand is. There are a few openings here and there, but tree spacing is quite consistent. Prescriptions like this one are easy for the logging contractor. They just motor through the job, doing the same thing every day. However, this is not the best practice for wildlife habitat. For that, you will want a variable application that yields a buffet of habitat zones, but still provides a generally open forest structure. We will look more at this concept in Unit 12. Unit 12 has a north aspect and is dominated by Douglas fir with ponderosa pine and western larch mixed in. These trees are more mature than in Unit 10 and have a better mix of ages, from brand new regeneration baby trees up to 24 inches in DBH. The shaded area is the prescription boundary for a 19.5-acre thinning operation we completed in 2017. The red blobs are leave-out or exclusion zones. We did nothing in those. I determined these areas by walking the unit and identifying decadent thickets that provided wildlife cover but contained little merchantable material. Rather than add to the slash piles, these areas were left for wildlife. The takeout areas totaled 1.3 acres, or about 6.5% of the total job. The result is an open structure forest that feels a lot denser than it really is. The leaf thickets interlock visually, so line of sight is limited. We pruned this unit to shoulder height, removing enough to mitigate ladder fuel danger, but leaving enough to obstruct ground level vision so you can't see as far. This is a security area where elk go when frightened and where whitetails like to hang out. In the foreground you can see a small hand pile of slash. We build lots of these throughout the property to provide habitat for small mammals, owl and hawk food. We call it rabbitat. As you can see, this unit is much darker than Unit 10. Line of sight is limited to around 100 yards or so. The drone is flying within the thinned area toward one of the leaf thickets. The dark background provides visual cover for wildlife. In Unit 10, it's really easy to spot animals because the high pruning operation virtually opens things up at ground level. Leaving the lower limbs in place in this unit, with thickets as the backdrop, was a small change that produced a strong effect. As we lift above the tree canopy, you can clearly see the leaf thickets as dark clumps. Look carefully at the overall open nature of this forest. This unit is comparable to Unit 10, providing good light and airflow to the forest floor, but provides more security cover for wildlife. You might say we gave up 6.5% of the value in this unit by not cutting the leaf areas, but most of the trees in the thickets had little to no value. What we gained in habitat and visual appeal, to me, is far more valuable. We also did not sacrifice fire safety. The thickets are isolated within the unit, that is relatively fire safe. If a thicket should catch fire, it should not spread. We feel this approach to forest management provides a meaningful balance for overall forest health, productive tree growth, and wildfire safety, all the while stimulating the understory for livestock grazing and providing productive but secure wildlife habitat. Thank you for your time.